things as they were.
Okay. We have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Motion by Jerry, seconded by Michael. To keep the officers as is. Any other discussion or nominations or anything? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right.
Who is the vice chair?
Bob Thomas.
Yep.
Thank you.
There comes Gary. Did you
Is
have
there
another
an extra agenda on
agenda?
the table?
There's a whole packet here.
Oh, we need your email address.
Yeah.
We didn't have your email address. Oh, you didn't? No. I don't know what you got last one.
What is your email?
Frost. Far west, no. 412. At Frontier there.
All right, then we're going to move on to item number 2, to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Karen, seconded by Bob, to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? All right. Approve the minutes of the October 26th, 2020 meeting. I'll look those over.
Just that my last name's misspelled.
Oh, okay.
There's only the N at the end.
And last minute, Gary Halpern was not here either. Gary wasn't here last time.
Nope, I was my annual, is done.
Yeah, Gary
Yeah,
wasn't here.
okay.
Second, yeah.
So make those changes. Gary was absent. And Michael, you said, oh, there, it's Christeson, right?
Yes.
So it's not Christensen, it's Christeson.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Any other additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, a motion to
So moved.
approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Bob, seconded by Jerry, to approve the October 26th, 2020 minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, that passes. Item number 4 is something that was brought up, and Haile, you had mentioned something that there might be a resident who comes to speak to us. They may or may not come. If they do, we'll just stop whatever we're doing and let them speak. But do you want to give maybe just a little background as to what's going on there?
Yes, so there's a resident that lives here by Baker Street and Frensville Park, and she brought a complaint in regards to the lack of speed control. She has a lot of kids in that area, and there's a lot of drivers that are going above the speed limit, or they're going really fast. And her complaints or concerns were that should we have a speed bump, if the speed bump is too expensive, can we have different kind of signage or anything in order to make sure that we have, we make sure that drivers are aware if kids are playing around or they're walking around that area. She said she was gonna be in today to speak about it.
Okay.
But that's kind of what we learned from her. So, and she wanted to know how you guys could support in that. But one thing I would like to say is the chief, Andrew, he was working on having a signage, a sign down there. But if there's any other things that you guys have in mind, maybe in order to control the speed of drivers, it's something that we could talk about. But,
Okay. Thank you. Does anybody have comments? I think signage is a good way to start, at
Yeah,
least.
I guess if it's the same person, then I think somebody should be taking a license number or whatever and speak to them, people, if that's the case. Now, if they just think that as a whole, the people are going too fast by there, I don't know. Or if it's just some certain individuals, because sometimes you have just those that have a lead foot.
There's not that many people that live in that area.
No.
You know, it's not like living by Four Seasons Park or the other parks. So it might be just certain people, and I'm gonna have to agree with Jerry in a sense, if the person can get the license number and the color, give it to the place and then maybe forward it on to them. And maybe they can take care of the issue and address it to them. Or what
least-
else would you have? You can't have cameras there, or?
At least speak to them about it.
Yeah. And it sounds like the chief is aware of it, so, you know.
Is there any other city policies that we need to, I mean, for speed limits or?
Sorry. We could look at, any ordinances and policy on what we could do, but at the end of the day, I think the resident was really focused on figuring out what kind of speeding control system we're gonna implement. So, but like we talked about, Andrew is thinking about putting a sign, and there was already a sign, but she was saying that it was not really, the drivers were not seeing it, and it's not being really effective, right? So I was just thinking of ways how we could try to make sure that we control, if there is, those kind of drivers, making sure that they don't impact the safety of the kids that are walking around that neighborhood. So the resident, that's what she felt. It's, I guess, for us, maybe Andrew, to look at this more and give us a feedback on that.
Because I know there's some people that have kids in front of their house and they have that little statue that has stop or slow down, there's kids around the area.
Okay.
But they put that out every day.
Sorry, this phone thing.
If they would have that out, but I have a funny feeling that might be kind of ripped off.
Yeah, it would have to be taken in
Yeah,
every
taken in
night
Every night and put out, and
Yeah.
who knows, it'd be somebody's responsibility to do that all the time too. But, the signs, we can try, like I said, but some people don't know how to read.
Okay. Well,
But we, like I said, if the chief of police is looking at it, and then we can maybe take a next step. What are speed bumps?
okay.
I mean, would it be, that would have to be addressed for this, like Kirby and that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other thoughts for number 4? Otherwise,
Say,
Oh.
can you hear me?
yes,
Joe.
go ahead, Joe.
Andrew has that speed limit, flashing light deal, like when you go to other towns and you drive in and it kind of yells at you.
Okay, yeah.
I wonder if maybe that's something that, might be helpful, just
To
to
warn them that they're
kind of
going,
remind people of what the speed limit actually
that's a good
is.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What, is there a speed, what is the speed limit down there? Is it,
well, that's the whole
20?
problem. I think all streets are 30 unless posted different. Isn't that what you feel? I think they're 30 miles an hour. Well, that's like Main Street to me. You shouldn't be driving down Main Street with any amount of people around at 30 miles an hour. But
And
that's
we
what the speed limit is. So even though you're driving too fast for conditions, they're under the law. Or,
Around the school it's 20, and I believe maybe by, Four Seasons Park, if that's the 20. But we could look at,
boy, I don't even know what that is.
but around the school it is.
around the school it is, I
Yeah.
will agree with you on that, yes. But like I said, I don't know what that speed limit is. It might be 20 because, the kids go over there and play too.
Parochial school
That's
kids
Crockett
too,
School
that's
kids,
right.
yeah.
So
That would be a block, that would be a block up, but they might have it for this, because they use that, don't they?
That's their,
Oh, yeah.
that's their part.
That's their playground, yeah, and their park, yeah.
Alright,
Okay.
They might,
That's
they
a
might- I don't know if
very
there's a
good
state
idea
law on
not
that
to
or
get
not.
a-
For
I know,
half the
I'm
park.
sure they're not cheap, but one child or one person's life is not worth even, you know, to save that kind of money, to be worth putting them up.
okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll touch base with the chief and
Okay.
see what we could do.
That sounds good. Okay, anything else for number 4? Otherwise, move on to number 5, a review of the 2021 budget. So as I look at this, the things I always look for are the capital outlay. Oh, that's street lighting, I gotta find the parks.
Jeez. Should I turn it on?
Alright. Works.
So is it the 3?
Is this any of this ours? I can't see, I can't find it.
Yeah,
25,202.
Yeah, Kyler's got the.
That's the 3,000 right here?
Oh, there you go.
That's your picnic table.
Is it? Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
The middle.
it was put
There's your.
under street lighting. That's why I wasn't sure.
Where it says street lighting, that's actually the bottom of the street lighting budget. So you start.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Does that make sense?
yes,
You start under that.
so
and
it's
then
3,000.
you're
okay.
summed at the bottom. Where it says parks.
And this is the streets. And so the capital outlay is 3,000.
That's parks.
Yeah,
That part, yeah.
That's just parks.
okay.
Oh, I see how it is, that, yeah. That street lighting, that's the very bottom, yeah. So, I guess looking at that 3,000, one of the things that we have been focused on is our continual updating of the picnic tables, if that's something people feel that we should continue to do. I guess I do.
I do too.
Same here.
I see you already got year-to-date amount in there. What was that
Okay.
for? The 2250.
Unless Kirby has already ordered.
Somebody bought something for 700 and.
Joe, can you hear us when we're talking?
Oh, okay, 750, I see.
Yes.
700.
I just have it on mute.
That's our balance.
It says balance above that,
Okay,
Dwayne.
I just turned off the speaker, so hopefully you hear the conversation.
Oh, Kirby ordered the stuff already. That's why.
What stuff?
Your picnic tables.
Oh, so just,
Oh.
you ordered the picnic tables already?
Good.
So what we have left is $750?
Correct. He's already spent 75% of that budget, so.
So in other words, we only have $750 left?
Yep.
Popcorn?
Yeah, and the popcorn.
Popcorn, yeah.
About that rental, $4,400. We haven't rented that building out at all?
that's,
Other rentals, it says?
yeah,
Oh, like the 4,400 from there?
Yep,
So,
That's rents you pay,
excuse me?
that's rents that come out of this budget. These are all expenditures.
yeah.
Oh.
If
Your
you look
revenues
at
go
the
into the
beginning,
general
it
fund.
starts with an E, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
an expense.
All right.
So renting would be things like the mini biffs and,
Porta potties, Kirby just ordered those, so.
Okay.
okay. So we haven't been billed for any of that,
Not yet. Kirby just ordered those.
Well, that's a good thing.
yeah.
Is that gonna affect the summer rec at all? Being Greenhouse stepped out of that? You guys found anything out of that?
I went to an advisory board meeting last week, and, likely not. It's just a matter of, they aren't gonna be paying their $4,000 and some dollars, so that's gonna have to be picked up by the other two communities. But it's not gonna involve, it's not gonna take away from the programming.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
And, the thought was that Gaylord is still welcome to come over. You know, we can't exclude anybody. In other words, there's kids from other school districts or people from other school districts take advantage of our Sibley East Community Ed program. And, you know, they're doing it, especially kids in the summer programs, they really don't, there's not a cost involved, so.
Sure.
Mhm.
But we probably have kids that go to other communities and do the same thing, so it all evens
Yeah.
out.
Mm.
But hopefully, they are trying to work with Green Isle and get them to not reconsider, but maybe just to, come back in again at another time and help support it.
Hmm.
They've been talking about it for a few years already. I believe about 75% of their kids go to Norway Young America and get involved in, you know, those programs.
Well, I know I was at the meeting the other week. Oh,
That's right.
yeah, we were there, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Any other thoughts on the budget?
Would you like to continue to budget for the picnic tables each year for 2022 as well?
I
Yes,
think so.
until we
I don't know
thought
how-
we should have it on there until everything is up to date in all the parks. And we thought that would take a couple of years.
I don't remember either how long, how
We-
much
how
more
we
we gotta
have-
go.
We would have to look, you know, when we do the tour to see how many picnic tables we have left to, but then what happens is, then there's damage once in a while.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna have some of that.
So we're gonna have to, you know, kind of keep it open.
Well, I think out at the Sportsman's Park, we have all wood out there yet.
Yeah,
I don't think there is a new one out there yet.
and I think there's 12 out there, isn't there?
Something like that, yeah.
So, yeah, and we can maybe focus on that a little bit more at our next meeting when we do tour and get a little better idea. I know a couple years ago, we counted up how many, but
Yeah,
I don't remember now.
no, I don't either.
We didn't do a tour last year of the park, so it's been at least 2 or maybe 3. All right, if there's nothing else under number 5, item number 6, the Adopt a Park program, and I guess the thought here is, or the question, is this something that we want to do again? I guess is probably the easiest way to say it. We tried it a few years ago. Again, I don't even remember what year it was, but,
It says 17 here.
okay.
They
So,
haven't started, I think maybe it was started about, when was the trail put into Sportsman's Park?
3, 4 years ago?
And
It's about that time, I'm
So-
sure.
It started then, and
Yeah,
2017, whoops.
It was when,
Sorry.
City Administrator Donabauer was still here.
Yeah.
But
So that would be 4 years ago.
Yeah,
I think we had three or four of them that, wasn't like Buzz and.
Yeah,
well, yeah, they're all listed here if you get on that one page,
Oh,
the
yeah,
adoption
I
park
see it.
program, and it says 2017. Yeah, I heard no complaints in one way or another as far as doing it. And they all seem to be, you know, willing to, like it says here, open for adoption. At that time, the Sportsman's Park, evidently nobody jumped on that one. But,
So with this list here in 2017, are these organizations still doing it, or we don't know?
No.
As far as I know, no one's doing anything anymore.
yeah, I kinda forgot about that. I remember doing this that time. But,
Are you thinking about contacting these people whose names are on here, though? If you start this up again?
If you guys wanna start it up again, if we're not gonna start it up again, then we're just gonna leave it alone. So, is it a program you'd like to see happen again?
I guess I don't see any reason why we couldn't go with it. I mean, didn't hear any real complaints from anybody when we did it that time.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anybody complained that they weren't doing anything, so
For some reason,
I
I
don't know why
still-
we couldn't, make note or let them know if there's anybody interested.
to continue on, but for some reason, I still thought St. Paul's cleaned up Frenzel's,
Oh,
because
I
they use
think they
it.
probably do it no
They
matter
probably
what.
do because they-
Yes, because if I'm not mistaken, they still do.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
they
think they
do.
take it upon themselves,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
You take Kaiserman is pretty good at
yeah.
taking care of those things.
Yeah.
There's principle over
But
there.
I'm gonna have to maybe agree with what Bob says. Can't we get a hold of the ones that are on here and then start advertising if we wanna?
Certainly could say, you did this back in 2017.
Are you still interested?
Yeah,
And if not, we're gonna advertise, and that would be a good starting point.
yeah, if anybody isn't, why, I guess we just
Advertise then and see what
advertise for
happens.
that.
Do
Anybody,
you want everyone to fill out new agreements? Do you want people to keep track of their hours? Did you recognize them or anything? If there was these detailed sheets, they were to keep log of their hours and everything. But I don't see, what did the city do?
I don't think.
Did we recognize them? Did we say thank you?
I thought we sent letters out, but maybe not.
I'd see it
Yeah.
so long ago, I don't even remember anymore.
We didn't do anything formally at a park board meeting, that I know.
I think it might be nice too if we start this program up.
Oh,
again, at
absolutely.
least Some type of recognition.
Actually, we did take a picture out, whoever it was, one of the groups came in to our meeting, and I remember stepping out in the hall, I think you and I,
That could be.
actually, and whoever it was, and they received a plaque, now that I think about it, so. And it
Okay.
was put in the paper, Kurt Menk was here to take a picture, so there was,
What kind of plaque?
uh,
Do you remember?
no,
What's that?
one like this. I don't,
Suppose we could ask any of these families, or anybody that did this.
yeah.
They would hit,
And I
if
can't
they still
even-
have their plaque.
It would be nice, even if we don't do plaques, I guess, if they could come to a meeting, you guys could recognize them, we could do a little photo op, give them a certificate at least. If
Yeah.
it's not a plaque,
Yeah,
give them
I
a
agree.
certificate.
And maybe it was a certificate, I
Yeah.
remember having something, and
Maybe Kurt would have some recollection of that.
we could probably look back in the paper, yeah,
You might remember.
yeah.
So, should, Kirby, who should reach out to them then? Is it Kirby that would be reaching out to them? Somebody, who's gonna reach out to these?
That would be me.
Oh, you, I mean, okay. Alright.
Yeah.
Big cheese.
Yeah,
She has the phone numbers.
Okay.
It just seems to me like it would be helpful even to like the mowers, if all the sticks and stuff are picked up and they can just get out there and go and
Mm-hmm.
not have to
Don't have to
stop.
pick up garbage or whatever
Yeah,
that's laying in the park somewhere. No,
so I think it would help them. Any other thoughts about the Adopt-A-Park? Not sure if we need a motion of any kind to say that we're in favor of it, or are we all in
No.
agreement? We just reach consensus that,
To try it again.
yeah,
Yeah,
Consensus is enough for
okay,
this.
okay.
Alright.
okay. Well, then I think it sounds like
We're not
something
charging
worth
people for it.
exploring anyway,
Revitalizing.
Yeah, revitalizing the whole bunch.
yeah. Item number 7, Lions Center rental policy.
Mhm. It's on our sheet, so.
Just double checking with you on that one. Are we still good with group 1, Arlington-based civic groups get the Lions Center for free? Are we still good with that?
That would be the Lions Club, can you think of?
4-H uses it for free.
Garden club.
Garden Club uses it for free. I guess Boy Scouts, if they wanted to be in it, they would use it for free.
Mhm. And the seniors.
Seniors are in there for free.
I've heard no complaints one way or another, so I don't see why we'd wanna change that unless somebody thinks somebody's abusing it or something, but it just says in there, you know, like for the seniors, family can use it one time a year. And if from what I'd heard, that they kinda asked, the seniors anyhow, they kinda asked them for a donation or something to the, I don't know if that's been happening or not, but that's the story I'd always heard.
Not that I know.
I'm not, my wife is, but I told her I ain't old enough yet.
Next year.
Yeah, right. Nah, till I quit driving bus, I'm busy. But, yeah,
Another thought I have is these civic groups give a lot to the city. They give a lot to school.
absolutely.
And so I'd like to be able to cut them a little slack and as a way of thanking them.
Right.
Taking them instead of charging them.
Yeah,
I think we already do like 50% for nonprofit organizations, right,
That's for this building.
for this building.
okay. Yeah, any other thoughts on that one? So I would say leave it as is, it sounds like. Item number 8, an update on the dog park. I don't know who has information.
Okay, so update on the dog park, we had Tim, so, you know, the dog park was initially a big project with $50,000, but now it becomes smaller and we have, business owners, and individuals who donated about $4,000, if I'm not mistaken. And, Tim has already, created a budget for the smaller dog park that was agreed upon. And we're working on how much the budget is gonna be on that, but that's where we are with the dog project.
Do you remember what the price was for a smaller dog park?
So, as of today, there was an update, we haven't I don't know if we have finalized it, was there any update in today?
He
No,
didn't have numbers for me yet.
no, so he hasn't had any numbers for us yet, substantially lower than almost the 50,000, so I don't wanna be throwing out numbers because it's gonna be different, but it's gonna be substantially less than what it was initially. At first, the reason we did the budget for that is just to show us what would, based on that proposal of the big dog projects. First, it gave us an opportunity to have a public hearing to understand if the community was gonna support the bigger one, but we've learned that the community is willing to support a smaller one and go bigger based on needs. So right now, it's still gonna be by the water treatment plant, but it's gonna be a very small area, and it's gonna have it's gonna be divided in two for small dogs and bigger dogs. So yeah, and it's I wouldn't say it's gonna be more than 30,000. Like it might be maybe 20 around there, but I don't wanna say a concrete number. It's gonna be Tim who's gonna let us know about how much that is gonna cost.
Just a question, if it's gonna be $20,000 and you only have 4,000, where's the other money coming from?
So yeah, that's so we put ads on Facebook and newspaper asking people to donate. There have been more individual donors, but we have seen support from businesses like with the Veterans Clinic, with the Arlington House, is it the Seneca or the housing developer, the affordable housing business owner, so that he donated as well. So we're hoping the community just rallies around it and see what we can raise.
So is the plan to build it and then hope somebody gives you the money? Or are we waiting until we get the money to build it?
So that's up for discussion. We need support from the community, so we're hoping to use, if we raise more money, that's the plan. So once we have the budget, I think we're gonna even promote it to other businesses to let them know how much exactly we need, so we have enough. So then see what the community thinks about that, just like how we did initially, where we had the budget for it was expensive, then we shrank it down. Now we're gonna put this out to the community and go forward with it and see how many people are gonna support us with that as well.
Question number 2, who's gonna maintain it and
Good
pay for
question.
that?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's gonna be Kirby. Already Kirby is on board about supporting the dog park. He understands the community needs it, and when we did a public hearing, we have seen a lot of people come into the meeting. There's a lot of people who say they're willing to volunteer putting up the fences. There's people already, businesses and individuals already donating into it, but obviously we're gonna need more money, and I think it's gonna be a community decision. That's gonna make it happen. So
Who's gonna maintain it in a sense?
Kirby.
So
So the
Kirby's-
city,
Yeah, the city.
The city is.
Yes.
So
Alright,
Kirby's
who's-
gonna go out and pick up when people don't pick up after their little puppies?
Yeah, so dog parks is, it's nothing new to, like cities. A lot of cities are adopting to have dog parks. So, it is the cities that are maintaining it. I know it's something new for this community, and I know some people have different perspective on it, but having a dog park, it is gonna improve the image of the city whenever people are building homes and whatnot, as a way of attracting residents to the city. I know it's kind of new for the residents. I've been engaged in the community and asking about having a dog park, and some people do say they want to have it, and some people disagree with it. But I want to let you guys know that when we did have a public hearing, a lot of people came and people donated.
I don't have a problem with it as long as you know where the money's coming from. And
And where the-
it doesn't come out of this budget,
Yeah.
cause that's why it was taken away from us and gone around. So, I just,
Cause when was that, a year ago or two? year
we
and a half
did
ago?
talked about it about 3
We
times.
decided it was not a good.
Yeah. I just wanna make sure, if you're gonna build it, you should have the money, unless somebody's got some hidden money somewhere. And the maintenance is also not free. So, those are my concerns. Cause having 4,000 and you need 20, that's not very good math.
Plus 20 plus, so if you
Right.
need to do the supplies, and then before you know it, are you gonna take into consideration that, okay, maybe we need benches, because cause Bob and Al wanna sit down and chit chat while their dogs are running around. So, are you gonna make it look like a park? And where is this dog park gonna fall under? Is it gonna fall underneath the park board? Is it gonna fall under EDA, who brought it up? As you can tell, I'm not a fan.
Oh, okay, so, is there, so you guys don't, okay, so, as a committee here, you guys don't wanna deal with the dog park, right? Or do you guys wanna take?
We don't wanna pay for it.
You guys don't wanna pay for it?
No, we don't wanna come out of our budget, but I'm
Uh-huh.
not a fan, because I know people in Lesueur, and they think it's not kept up. People don't pick up after themselves. And I think here, their EDA, or, is it EDA, or whoever, in priority, when I look around town, no offense, our street signs are horrible, Mayor. You don't even know what street you're on because you can't even read it. I think we need our priorities, my idea is a dog park falls down. We need other things, but if it's willing to be paid out of, people are willing to do grants and money else, that's fine, but don't take it out of any else budget. But I don't want Kirby to come back and say, oh, we had our mowers are full of what, and have to be washed up, and you drag it all over the place.
Yeah, as far as even that concern, I think they were thinking about having mulch on the grass, so Kirby doesn't have to pick it up. And, as far as like maintaining dog park, obviously, you say the Lesueur, they're not keeping it up, but in my opinion, as a committee, I think you guys need to be mindful of the residents who are demanding these things, and I think giving them even an opportunity to show that they really can maintain it, thinking of ways if Lesueur are not upkeeping it the right way, how can we, if we support it, make sure that the residents that use it upkeep it? So I think that's kind of a little bit of advice, but I hear what you're saying. I know it's a challenge, but those are some of the things that I learned while I was doing community survey, just walking around and asking people. It shows that there are people who feel strongly about this, and there's a lot of people who are in favor of it. So I'll just leave it up to you guys to make.
Okay, and I will say, I do know when this was first brought up, the idea was, in what park that currently exists could we put a dog park? And I think that turned a lot of us off right away, and that we did not want that in one of our established parks. I think a good compromise is where it's being put now.
Mhm.
I agree.
I do
agree.
hope the money will be raised before it's built,
And I hope the people who want the dog park do pick up and keep it nice looking. And that will be another asset to the city,
Yeah.
that it's nice looking and things are out there. But once you fall away from that, people aren't doing it, then you get,
Yep, and in order to make sure that people maintain it, I think it's important to have like a volunteer group. And when we had a public hearing about that, if there was people who are willing to be a volunteer group, that we're gonna create a policy around how they're gonna maintain it. Other cities do the same thing, so it is a norm, and those concerns you mentioned are true. If somebody don't follow those rules, maybe, somebody could be penalized or something if they keep on leaving their, if they, the dog poop, whatnot. But I think there's other cities, what they have done is create policy and volunteer groups that their main task is to make sure the dog park is up to par, and so Kirby doesn't even have to do a lot of the work, so,
Well,
I
And
hear
I,
you.
and I agree, and I do, because I know my nephew Matthew in St. Joseph, they have a fantastic dog park. But he says, you are responsible, and if you're not responsible, and somebody finds that you're not responsible, they're not allowed back.
See, that's another good policy, like, so, like, those concerns that you have, they're true and they're right. So like, we will adopt those good policies, and if we have a volunteer group that creates a strong policy and they make sure that it's maintained right and the people use it properly, I think it's gonna be a good asset for the community. But that's kinda my little advice while I was here and learn about the community.
Okay, so then I don't have to worry about somebody pooping in front of my house, okay?
Yeah, it would help, yeah.
Find
And
that-
then
if I
it'd
find
also
that
be
dog.
hopeful that with the adopt the park program, if we can be hopeful that someone will
Step up and do that?
adopt that.
Yeah.
too,
Adopt the
and
dog park, true.
help
That's
out there,
another
too.
one to add to the list. Sure. Good point. All right, anything else related to that? Otherwise, on to number 9. Our next meeting is scheduled for July 26th, which I thought we should try and get in a tour of the parks this year. It didn't work out real well to do it today with other meetings that were going on, so we thought maybe at our next meeting. I know we've been out there in the mud and the wet, and maybe by July. it'll
We'll have
be a little-
mosquitoes.
Well, true.
Yeah,
I
we
can put a
looking
bug
at
spray.
meeting here or something and then going out.
So that's
As a
what
group?
we have typically done, is met here, and I think we've usually said 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
It gives people a chance to get home, and then we go to Sportsman's Park first, then Four Seasons, then
Yeah.
Frenzel, then Fairview, then Memorial, and circle right back here and have our meeting right after that, so.
Sounds good to hear.
Any other thoughts on that? Otherwise, item number 10 says an open discussion. Anything else you can think of that should be brought up? If not, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna, does anyone know if, about the water line and such for, at Memorial Park for the garden club? It's been something.
I don't know, it's been brought up a couple of years ago already, but we've never,
Seems like it keeps being brought up.
Well,
and-
Yeah,
I don't know, we never, for one thing, I don't think we've ever gotten anybody to tell us what it's gonna cost and who's gonna pay for it, or what is it, where's it gonna come out of?
yeah.
That would be Kirby, because Kirby was going to
I
talk
think
to,
Kirby was gonna check on that one,
Kirby was gonna talk to Larry, and they were gonna go over what's needed and that stuff, but nobody's ever gotten back.
You're talking Larry Giesecke from the
Yeah.
garden
Yeah.
club, yeah. Yeah, and I've never heard anything about whatever, if they ever come up with anything, other than that it's been brought up, I think almost the last 2 or 3 years, but nothing's ever been done one way or another.
Yeah,
Or
That
said that if you come up with the money, we'll do it.
That'll probably have to be addressed when, maybe with, maybe next time around.
Yeah.
We'll look, see maybe Kirby knows something about things that we brought up.
I would say it should be on, yeah, I guess we're gonna wait till July.
He did, I think, at one of the meetings, he did find out that one of them was too expensive, cause they wanted the watering thing in the, each of the, and I think it was a little bit high price. But he was going to check on, I think.
So the water line needs to be fixed?
No, they-
Well,
they
we
want-
want another hydrant.
He didn't
another
have to
water
run
line.
the line.
Yeah.
so in Memorial Park where the garden club has made these newer flower beds. I don't know if you've walked through there at all. Right now, they drag a hose from the hydrant all the way to the other end to water the flowers in the dry season. And they're wondering if a water line can be put in another hydrant so they don't have to drag so much hose. And most of the garden club members are elderly. It's getting harder for them to do that. And so,
So they are the ones who are maintaining it?
Yes.
And they're hoping if we can have a water line so they don't have to do that?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Well, that could be a good thing, who's in charge of the water and sewer in town?
People service.
That'd be a good donation for them to look good in the eyes of the community. Just thought of that. Highly, that'd be put onto your plate.
I'll touch base with, Lee, he's a good guy, so maybe
Good.
he might have good ideas.
Sweet talk.
yeah.
I cannot make any promises.
And we need to first speak to Larry Giesecke with the garden club to
Yep.
see what they're asking for, or where they want this other hydrant.
Well, first of all, we gotta find someone to, if people service or,
Kirby can give you most
Yeah.
of the details.
Yeah, but I mean,
he knows everything.
Yeah, so after Kirby, it's the,
Larry Giesecke.
Larry Giesecke. And which organization you work for?
garden club.
He's with the garden club, yeah.
They do a good job out there, it always looks so nice.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I have people that come from White Bear, and those guys, they drive through to go to Ascension, they just love it
Yeah.
circling around here.
Yeah.
Is there any, does anybody know any rules or regs as far as the COVID and using the parks? Have they, I know like, in the larger cities, especially right now, they're not allowing, well, some of them to use the park at all.
We opened up our parks quite a while ago. There's still a limit by the governor on, it's a pretty large group, so you can't have, 200 is sticking in my head, but don't quote me on that. You can't have, I think, more than 200 gathering with them. Don't quote me on that, though, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I can only keep track of how many we can have in the community.
I'm sure it's basically to avoid any big band group that would come in
Yeah,
with it.
that's what they were trying to do.
Something like that, yeah. But, like, our church was going to, they did last year, have confirmation by the gazebo. And, then people just sat around out, and then the kids were, well, shouldn't call them kids, but the confirmants were in the gazebo along with the minister, and I videoed it last year, and that worked out pretty good, but this year it was a little cold and a little nasty on Sunday, so they didn't do it. They kept it at church. But it was because of the COVID thing too, that being there, you could be spread out more. But,
Okay. Any other thoughts for the group?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned, 7:55. Good job, everybody. Less than an hour.
Oh, okay.
Jerry, I had to adjourn the last time for you.
I know, but I seconded it though.
Did you really?
So I got nosed out on the first one,
Oh, yeah.
so I wasn't gonna let them get away with that again this time.
Well, you were here that time.
Yeah.
I was there, I just seconded it.
I already adjourned the meeting, that was the show. Okay.
Yeah. Oop.